and that they don't respect women, as you're seeing with Vinny. They don't respect facts. They don't read newspapers. They don't understand polls. They don't understand misogyny. They don't understand people of color, and they don't understand that that immigration bill was blocked.
And you know what,
by
Nomiki,
Donald Trump and his Republicans.
Nomiki, what you, I'll come to Tim for a response, but Nomiki, what you may not understand is it's...
We're about to have a look at a debate on the Piers Morgan show between Tim Pool and this woke chick, a feminist, I believe, named Nomiki Konst. I've never heard of her, but this is an excellent exchange. There's a bunch of good segments to this, so I'm just going to limit it to one for this video. But this woman, Nomiki, challenges Tim Pool and blames him essentially for men not liking women, which is completely absurd. I mean, seriously, right? Without giving away too much, let's just go ahead and get it started.
This election is going to be determined by women. And women are not only, we saw it in 2022, this country has turned out in response to Roe v. Wade, not just because it's an attack against abortion rights and abortion access and the right to choose, but also it shows that the Republican Party and Donald Trump have had an agenda, not only through cutting off clinics, funding to clinics across the country, attacks on IVF, not only with their online agenda, like Tim Pool here, who was funded by the Russians, let's not forget, that they had an agenda to sway young male voters into being radicalized through disinformation campaigns. This is all out there at this point. Part of the gender divide here right now, is because folks like Tim Pool and others who once said that they were Bernie Sanders supporters, who I worked for, were suddenly pulling people away and pulling young men away and radicalizing them. So I think we have a problem with young men right now, and that they don't respect women, as you're seeing with Vinny. They don't respect facts. They don't read newspapers. They don't understand polls. They don't understand misogyny. They don't understand people of color, and they don't understand that that immigration bill was blocked.
And you know what,
by
Nomiki,
Donald Trump and his Republicans.
Nomiki, what you, I'll come to Tim for a response, but Nomiki, what you may not understand is it's precisely that attitude towards younger men that is driving them to Donald Trump. And I think the election in the end will not be won with women, it will be won with men. And interestingly, increasing numbers of Black American men and Latino American men. So Tim Pool,
can I just challenge that for a second?
You can challenge it.
Men don't turn out at the same rates as women. It's really important. Women have a higher rate of turnout, they're more reliable voters, and young women are more left than they've ever been because of a lot of the online hate that they're seeing. So while Tim Pool might not like this, the majority of men actually do respect women and do like to talk to them. And I think, you know, is there misogyny? Sure.
Why would Tim Pool not like people to respect women? What's he said that makes you think that?
What did I say to this lady?
I watched his commentary in response to the Kamala... This lady, I have a name, Tim. I've called you your name. You can call me my name. My name is Nomiki Konst. I'm well known. I'm on the internet. You've commented about me before as this lady. So, Tim, you know, I saw your commentary about the manliness ad, and you said that that wasn't manly. That I don't think that men should be looking to other men to see what's manly. I mean, most heterosexual men want to persuade women because it's part of their, you know, it's how they live, right? Tim Pool, I'm just questioning.
And this seems to be the recurring theme amongst the Democratic talking pundits, the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris's campaign team, is that women and gay guys know what a masculine man is, and you need to learn that from them, and that men can't learn from other men, which is completely ridiculous. It's why some men lead and other men are able to follow those people, because they, you know, I mean, think of what The Rock back in the 90s, know your role, right? I think that was The Rock in WWF. I mean, it's not anything new. Men are able to follow, and it has a definition. There's alphas and there's betas, right? And a person that recognizes where they stand in their role is actually very important to the hierarchy and the, you know, the success of our country and success to the security apparatus. And no, nobody's heard of this chick before, so she will forevermore be known as this lady as far as America First TV goes.
Why you're defining masculinity.
All right, let Tim Pool,
okay. We're the ones.
Well, it's interesting that you think you should be able to define masculinity, but he can't. Tim Pool, your response.
I'm I don't know why this lady keeps saying my name. I didn't say anything to her. I think I started this off by saying I agree with the left position that there is an inherent sexism problem in this country. That actually I'm hearing this from some of the reporters that we have on the street, that there are young men, when asked why they wouldn't support Kamala Harris, they give no reason other than she's just a woman. So I certainly understand why the Harris campaign, Tim Walz and Harris, and their supporters are making videos trying to tell men, you know, here's how you can be masculine. So in particular, there's a couple ads. There's the white dude for Harris ad, and then there was another one that was put out, I believe it was by supporters, not the campaign officially, and a Tim Walz ad that were similar. And they're doing these things where they say, like, you know, I can fix a carburetor and I'm not scared of women. These things don't say anything to men. Now, we believe, I should say the commentary we had on this is that they were female-coded advertisements likely written by women for men. I think if you look at the trends that guys follow in terms of media, they're looking at action movies. It's rather stereotypical, but there is a lowest common denominator here. So I don't think you are convincing men to vote for women by making commercials where you say, here's how men should act. I don't think you need those arguments for men. I think if there's a struggle with men, I wonder if the issue is not that it's a point of convincing these men, but that you actually just have guys who are sexist. And how you overcome that's a challenge I don't quite know. But I think when we criticize and mock, say, a cringe commercial, it's because it's certainly not the way to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, it depends on who you're trying to target. I mean, if you're trying to target Tim Pool viewers, yeah, probably not. I mean, the far right, I don't think Kamala Harris or any Democrat was ever going to win over. But there are plenty of men who may need permission.
What do you mean a Tim Pool viewer?
Well, I mean, you have an audience, and the audience is far right, and over
somebody who thinks
90% male.
So you're saying that you think my audience that agrees with me that there's inherent sexism in this country and racism, and that creates a barrier for Kamala Harris, those are the viewers you're talking about?
She's also saying that Tim Pool, you and your viewers are far right. I mean, just how detached are these people from reality?
That the folks who listen to your show are not... They are not the target audience of these ads. There are plenty of men out there who may not have really understood when they kept asking things like, where is Kamala Harris's plan, even though she's said it over and over and over again on the campaign trail. They're using excuses and not understanding that the underlying issue there might be misogyny.
Hang on. Kamala Harris, with the best will in the world, she doesn't have a big plan for what she's going to do. She never thought she'd have to have one. She gets parachuted in this weird coronation, a completely undemocratic process, by the way, which I don't think served her or the Democrats very well, and I suspect will come back and haunt them at the election. But the truth is that Kamala Harris doesn't seem to have a proper plan. Her plan is to hammer Trump, and that's fine. But I don't think that, unlike in 2020, when Biden hid in the basement and did that quite successfully, I don't think just being anti-Trump is enough. Americans are looking for a much bigger picture. Now, I want to bring in Vajra here because hang on, I'll come back to you. I want to bring in Vajra about this extraordinary Obama intervention. And I'll play the clip where he was talking directly to black men in America.
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for it.
That seemed quite patronising to me, Vajra, but I'll play another clip, which is a response from Lord Jamar, the rapper and record producer, to what he heard from Obama there.
Well, I feel that she's so bad that guess what? I might just go around and vote for Trump. And this is my first time saying this out loud.
Do it.
But y'all think you're gonna shame somebody or bully into voting for this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now you're gonna make me be Mr. Anti. You keep coming at me with this bullshit. You keep coming at me talking about, oh, it's a shame that you're not supporting a black woman. She's not black.
Vajra,
Wow.
I watched that, and I was interested because I think if I was a black American, and I'm neither, but if I was, I would have thought that Obama intervention was quite patronising.
Yeah, so you're not a black man, and you're going to be probably, if you were a black man, you might be one of the 12% that vote Republican. Historically, 88% vote Democrat, and it seems like this time around, 88% are going to vote Democrat. The same thing happened in 2012. There was a discussion within Black America that some people said, hey, Obama, don't talk down to black men like this, because black men will actually support Kamala, and don't be swayed by the 12% or the 15% or Lord Jamal, who, by the way, has never voted before. It seems like this is a manufactured controversy, but guess what? I'm glad the one thing we all agree on in this panel, I'm being sincere about here, is we all agree that misogyny and racism exists in America, and we all agree that it plays a part. And we agree, and we should agree, that there's a double standard that Kamala Harris, as the first black Indian woman, has to basically overcome. She has to pole vault over this. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has no plans. He's selling black people shoes. Yesterday, Kamala Harris said, here's my plan for black men. He actually comes up with a comprehensive plan that will actually help young black men. And by the way, that is going to resonate. What does Donald Trump do? Sways to music for 39 minutes, talks about Hannibal Lecter, talks about...
Hold up. Only black guys buy shoes, and Donald Trump swayed to music for 39 minutes because somebody had a medical emergency in the audience and he was being respectful and not just continually talking while this person was having an issue, right? So you can try to spin it however you want, Mr. Wadget, but you are being completely racist by saying that only black men buy sneakers. Like, what are you talking about? And you tried to say that the rapper guy has never voted before. That's the exact point that he was saying, is that you might F around and make him go vote for Trump this time. There's nothing stopping him from being able to vote in this election for Donald Trump. So regardless of his voting history, the point being that what Barack Obama did, which was not a strong message to men or black men at all, it was a threat, it was degrading, and it was coming from a person who let down the black community after being the president for 8 years. I mean, let's not forget, and I mentioned this in one of my most recent videos as well, that the black community was done with Barack Obama after his 8 years. They all believed, or the majority believed, that he had let them down, that they were fooled and they weren't going to fall for it again. And that's part of the reason why Trump won in 2016, was because I think a lot of those voters just elected not to go vote in 2016. They weren't going to support Hillary. They weren't going to support the Democratic Party. And some of them might have gone and voted for Donald Trump. We know that Donald Trump was already popular amongst the rap community, the pop culture community, for decades before he decided to run for president. So your points are all completely off base. They're from a pompous, democratic, not being able to see the full picture point of view. And you just proved it right there by saying something racist, something disingenuous, and a straight up lie. You combine them all in 3 back-to-back-to-back statements. It's completely ridiculous that anybody would go and vote for a Democrat in this election, especially against Donald Trump, who is America first, who has 4 years of experience in the candidacy or in the presidency, and everybody's lives, everybody lived it with the exception of COVID, that they experienced that their life was better. Their life was easier. They had more money in the bank account, and it's as simple as that. Seriously, Kamala Harris just co-signed to everything that Joe Biden has done. She had an opportunity to separate herself from it, and she didn't. And so basically re-electing Kamala is voting for 4 more years of what we just had versus 4 years of prosperity that we had under Donald Trump. But let's play a little bit more of this video. I'll at least let Wadget finish his statement. He might have some more stuff that needs to be debunked and discredited. So then I'll wrap it up after that.
Black jobs, says Kamala Harris has turned black, talks about black criminality in the urban warfare of Detroit, mocks Detroit, a place where he's speaking, a major city in a swing state he needs to win. This is what he does for black people. He's racist. He hangs out with racists. He supports Nazi talking points, literally talking about poisoning the blood.
And yet,
he hangs out with Nick Fuentes,
just to jump in, Vajah,
and a racist.
Okay,
meanwhile, Kamala Harris,
I know.
Kamala Harris actually comes up with a plan, and you say she has no plan.
But you see, what's interesting?
Right.
What's interesting to me, Vajah, is despite everything you've just said, Trump's support amongst black Americans, particularly black male Americans, has been rising steadily now for the last 2 years, which would be apparently inexplicable given what you've just said. They don't perceive him that way. And it looks like from the polling that what they really believe is that Trump will get stuff like the economy done better than Kamala has proven to have done in the last nearly 4 years as part of the Biden administration. So you can say as much as you like that he's a disgusting racist, Nazi, blah, 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 but you can't explain to me, unless you've got a good reason, why so many more black men in particular in America are gravitating away from a black candidate to Trump.
With that, I'll just remind people of what Trump said when he first ran for president in 2016, when he asked the black community, what do you have to lose? And again, I think that applies now. What do you have to lose? Things are so bad in society. Race relations are at an all-time high after having a democratically ran federal government. And it's my opinion as an America First Donald Trump supporter that we have more in common than we don't. And there's one thing that I know for sure is that I won't even say the Republican Party, is that the America First Party is way more accepting of all types of races, all, sexualities, men, women, as long as we all have one thing in goal, which is God, family, and America first, right? And I think a lot of us can agree on those three principles. God first, family second, America first. Well, third. Then America first, third. You go to a Democrat rally and wear a MAGA hat, do you think they're going to try to convince you that their way is better? Or do you think they're just going to throw water bottles full of piss at you? And vice versa. I've seen the videos. They're out there. You can be a black person, show up at a MAGA rally, and you will be embraced and loved. And that's more of a representation of what we need from society, right? Forgiveness, turning the other cheek, allowing people to learn from their mistakes and grow, versus you said something bad, you did something bad, you're out of the community, you're out of the Democratic Party, which is the way the Democratic Party treats their own. As soon as you question something, as soon as you have wrong think, they're going to cancel you. And that's what the Democratic Party wants to do. They want to cancel opposing opinions, and that is not a way to prosperity. That is a way of ruining people's lives. And that is not what the MAGA party, that is not what America First means. America First is in it to make everybody's lives better across the board. And that is why we so strongly oppose having open borders. It's not a racial thing. It's about security and giving the Americans first dibs and first opportunity for American jobs, first opportunity at American benefits, because it all comes from our own tax dollars, right? And nobody that's coming into this country illegally is putting in on this the way that they need to in order to reap the benefits that some of us in this country aren't even able to qualify for. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, come visit me Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. for my live shows, and I'll see you guys in the next one.